Hamlet, Act 1, Scene 5. In Aristotle's Poetics, he describes what makes a tragedy great or most effective. It must be constructed in such a way as to be in accordance with the rules of art. First and foremost, a tragedy must excite pity and fear, and without the aid of the eye. He or she who hears the tale told will thrill with horror and melt to pity at what takes place. If this effect is achieved by the mere spectacle, this is a less artistic method, for it is not a sense of the terrible, but of the monstrous. So the plot is everything. And what Aristotle focuses on is what circumstances strike us as most terrible or most pitiful. Actions capable of having the most effect must happen between persons who are near or dear to one another. If, for example, a brother kills or intends to kill a brother, or any other deed of this kind is done, these are the situations to be looked for by the poet. In this scene, the ghost speaks. Thus was I sleeping, by a brother's hand of life, of crown, of queen, at once dispatched, or deprived. O horrible, most horrible! Another quality of tragedy is that the tragic figure must be relatable, as to fear the misfortune of a man or woman like ourselves. And in this scene, the ghost speaks. Cut off, even in the blossoms of my sin, no reckoning made, but sent to my account with all my imperfections on my head. Aristotle states that it is a character between two extremes, that of a man who is not eminently good and just, and not that of a man who's a villain, whose misfortune is brought about by vice or depravity. For this would satisfy the moral sense and not inspire pity or fear. Pity is aroused by unmerited misfortune, brought about by some error or frailty. But in some aspect, the tragic figure needs to be exceptional. Aristotle says that he must or she must be one who is highly renowned and prosperous, illustrious even. In Act 3, Scene 4, Hamlet speaks of his father. What a grace was seated on his brow! Hyperion's or the sun god's curls, the front of Jove himself, an eye like Mars to threaten and command, a combination and a form indeed, where every god did seem to set his seal, to give the world assurance of a man. The man who was king. In this scene, his ghost cries out, "O Hamlet, what a falling off was there!" Another aspect of great tragedy is the element of surprise. Aristotle talks about recognition, a change from ignorance to knowledge, when a character recognizes or discovers whether a person has done a thing or not. And when combined with a reversal of the situation, when the action veers round to its opposite, the desired effect of pity or fear is achieved. And in addition is suffering, a destructive or painful action, such as death, bodily agony, wounds, and the like. So this scene has it all. When Hamlet discovers that his uncle, who is now the reigning king and who is married to his mother, murdered his father. The ghost speaks. Sleeping within mine orchard, my custom always in the afternoon. Upon my secure hour, thy uncle stole with juice of cursed Hebenon, a poison, in a vial, and in the porches or entranceways of mine ears did pour the leprous distilment, whose effect holds such an enmity with blood of man, that swift as quicksilver it courses through the natural gates and alleys of the body, and with a sudden vigor it doth posit and gird, like eager droppings into milk, the thin and wholesome blood. So did it mine, and a most instant tedder or scaly rash barked about, or covered the body like bark, most lazar-like, with vile and loathsome crust, all my smooth body. And it is in this scene that Hamlet resolves to feign madness, as he tells his friends to ignore, how strange or odd soever I bear myself, as I perchance hereafter shall think it meet to put an antic disposition on. This play is all about recognition and reversal. Think of when Hamlet goes to Ophelia in this state, and when Hamlet murders her father, and she herself goes mad, and then there is her brother Laertes. All of the characters have this domino effect of recognition and reversal on one another. But this scene has got to have one of the greatest recognitions. When Hamlet speaks, the time is out of joint. Oh, cursed spite, that ever I was born to set it right.